Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 468 of DrunkNerds podcast. I'm host, as always, I'm Tyler, and join me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. This is part 2 of us recording this for this week. So if you're watching this on the day it comes out, it is Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you may or may not celebrate. Thank you guys for listening to us. We are, if you don't remember or maybe you missed it, we recorded a show already, which was last week's show. That going through all the news from the week. It was a normal show. We talked about us. We both beat Halo. And this week is just kind of we're doing this one because Christmas lands on Saturday. We don't really want to try to squeeze in a podcast during the week or anything like that. And typically we figured just it's the week of Christmas. Industry is pretty much shut down this time of year, so probably knock on wood, nothing crazy happens. But yeah, so anyways, what's going on is we're just going to do a kind of a little fun. We have a couple little topics here we want to talk about. And then next week we'll be back. Well, 2 weeks for us, 1 week for you guys. We'll be back January 1st weekend with our Game of the Year list. So for people that know, we do a top 10 list every year. We usually record it the first weekend of the new year. So that way you get the full 365 days to play all of the games from 2021, and then we rank them top 10. We don't know the list, so it's always a surprise to us. We learn it live on the podcast. It'll be exciting. This will be our first time doing it with the video, so first time we actually see our reactions, and you can see our reactions when we announce it. So that'll be pretty fun. And we'll talk about a little bit more of process here a little bit later. But Gables, I thought it'd be kind of fun. Actually, I do want to mention real fast before I forget. Gables, I did play another game just today. It just came out on Thursday. It's on Game Pass. It is from Image and Form. It is actually it's made by the people that did the SteamWorld Dig games and SteamWorld Heist, which I loved Heist. The Dig games aren't from. I'm not a big 2D Metroidvania game guy, but that just came out. I put a few hours into it. I guess it's only about 4 hours long because I looked real fast to see roundabout where I'm at. It looks like I have like an hour give or take left, so I'm pretty close to the end. It's a fun little game though. It's a very solid 7 out of 10 game, but it is SteamWorld Dig 2. A lot of people like that game got tens from people. Yep. And it's considered one of the best games of the year. It came out. I know a lot of people love. I loved Heist when it first came out, but I know a lot of people love Dig and Dig 2 especially. But it doesn't live up to that level at all. But it's like I said, it's a very good 7. I would say. Like it's on Game Pass. It's very fun. It's pretty simple. You land on this planet and there's this gunk everywhere, and it's kind of like sucking up the energy and kind of like destroying the planet. And you have basically a vacuum sort of thing, like imagine like Luigi's Mansion, but you you suck up the gunk in these areas and
right.
It brings back life. So plants come back, it lightens it up, and you can find items you can use like metal or what is it, like metal and fabric, stuff like that you can use to upgrade your equipment that you have, so you can suck up things faster or run, or you have more health, because there's a little bit of combat. There's some alien enemies you have to fight, but it's very simplistic battles. Everything in here is very simplistic puzzles. It's kind of like a 3D Metroidvania in a way, where everything kind of in the end intertwines together. There are little fast travel areas you can find and make. But yeah, I think it's a really good game. I think, like I said, if you have Game Pass, it's a game you might if you're remotely interested in Image and Form or the SteamWorld games, or even this is a game for you. Just check out the trailer, because it's pretty fun, pretty quaint. I'm happy it's on Game Pass. It's a game I was very much looking forward to when they first announced it, because I love Heist, and I respect them as very good game developers. But yeah, I'm happy it's on Game Pass. And it's like I said, it's not this isn't a must play. But it's like I said, this is the perfect game to land on Game Pass. It's very well. It looks very good too. When you look at the people in the game, and they have you can see them talking. That's not very good. It looks very old. But the everything else, going through the world and the way everything flows together, it's very pretty and very well made. Like I said, it's a very good 7 out of 10. It's a very cool vibes, I would say. It's a very it was kind of the perfect game I needed today.
Okay.
After it's been a pretty long couple weeks, and then after beating Halo, That's a pretty intense game. And to play this game where I can just kind of like lean back, chill, and just play this game, and not like stress out too much about quick reflexes or anything like that, or stress myself out too much. It's a very good game. Like I said, check out the trailer, or it's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, play it on there. It's very good. I just want to talk about that real fast before I forgot about it. But I thought it'd be kind of fun, Gables. Here, we're getting, pretty much Q1 of next year is pretty much filled out. I'd like to think, because God knows we don't need any more fucking games next month or the next 3 months. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through some of these games here. I'm not gonna go through every single one of them here, but I'll mention some of the big one. I'll mention some of the bigger ones here, and if you're interested in Gables, stop me, or if you have a comment you want to make on it, stop me. I'm using the GameInformer.com. They always do a very good list of everything.
Right.
Downside is they put everything, and I mean everything. But I'm going to talk some. So going into January here, we have like Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PC. That came out Switch already. God of War January 14th also coming to PC. This one was actually like supposed to come out in I believe September, and then like it was at E3, and then it was supposed to come out. They announced a date. I think it was like September, and then they just delayed it, and then they announced later on it's coming January 20th. Rainbow Six Extraction. That's that Rainbow Six zombie game. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I really have. It's a tough read on this one. Like I don't know. Like especially with like come out Siege. Siege came out and died, but then they fixed it, turned it around, obviously. But I don't. It's I don't see this one. I think it will have a good like launch, but I feel like this would be one of those games. February 20th, we're not talking about anymore. What about you?
Yeah, it's definitely the type of game that I don't think it's going to last more than like maybe a couple of weeks before people forget about it, because this is definitely the ripe type of thing where we have other big releases during the month of January, and especially when we get towards the February and March portion of the stuff where people are not even going to remember that shit unless it has an epic failure of a launch.
Yeah. Or it's just, I mean, unless this game is absolutely incredible, or it's dog shit. Like it's either gonna be like amazing or awful for us to talk about it. Another game though that could be amazing or awful. Windjammers 2 coming out on the same day, January 20th.
I am excited for this one. Windjammers 2. This is definitely a fantastic style of like homage back to the original like game that came out in arcades. I think it was like an SNK made game in that regards. And I've played Windjammers, dude. I've played it on Switch. I've played it on PS4 at the time. It's so fucking addictive. It's definitely fun. And having Windjammers 2, having the continuation plus new characters, new things, online stuff. This is the type of game where you can have a competitive fucking like tournament just between a lot of different people with just the whole premise of being, okay, let's get this flying disc inside this damn goal and see how many points we can score before we get past that certain point. I think the initial score you need to go forth and play in order to win a game or a round of the game or something is like either 12 or 13 or something like that. But you have a whole bunch of different characters, different forces and stuff. But I'm really hyped to see how well the sequel is going to do, because people have been wanting this game for years.
Yeah.
Like at least a sequel. So I'm highly excited about this game.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. I hope it comes out as good, because this one's been a long wanted game, so it's awesome finally coming. Big game coming out January 28th. Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yep.
I so badly want this game to be fantastic.
I do too.
I'm just so worried how this thing is going to run, because every time we see it, like it's the game we've all wanted since Pokemon became a thing.
Yes.
But every time we see this game, it just looks like it runs badly.
Yeah, that's the concern. Even when it was unveiled, even like with recent trailers that have come out towards this game, it looks like that this would have been a better suit for a revitalized or even like a higher end sort of like a Switch model or something like that, where the game looks like it could run at like a native like 60 frames or whatsoever. But for what we have seen so far, it looks like the game has troubles performance wise. I mean, we haven't seen really like in-depth gameplay of this damn game at all. So that's a big concern with like nearly a month out. But we've seen like tidbits here and there, new different Pokemon that's supposed to be like inside here. The latest being that like
The
assuming
Voltorb.
like Voltorb that's electric grass, but it definitely has some bit of hype because it's set in that same timeline as Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, so it coincides the Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl releases and stuff, and it has a cool gimmick, has a cool premise. I want it to be a good game. I just hope it doesn't run like trash.
Yeah. Yeah, this game could be amazing. This could be game of the year right here.
That's that
Or it could be,
possibility, yes.
yeah. So, speaking of January 28th, though, we talked about this on last week's episode. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection's coming. That's the Lost Legacy and Uncharted 4. PS5 edition's coming out. It's also coming to PC that same day. I'll talk about last week. I'm gonna pay the $10 for the Uncharted 4 upgrade, but it's definitely gonna be one of those things I get around to. But like, it's a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, almost 6-year-old game at this point. So
Mm,
when this comes out, so I don't know. I mean, I don't have too much to add. I know we've talked about it already, though. I mean, unless there's anything you want to add to it.
no, not really.
Okay, moving on here. Life is Strange Remaster Collection. That's a remaster of Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm. Is coming to everything on February 1st. It's originally supposed to come out. They had like a bundle you can buy with True Colors, and it's all supposed to come out together and come out launch the same day. Then the remasters got delayed, so that's coming out. But even I'm not that interested in it. It's as good as it looks. Like I might get around and play it eventually, but not not this time of year. Looking at what's coming out. Moving on though, Dying Light 2 is coming out February 4th. Everything. This game has been in production hell forever. We
Right.
heard about they announced it 5 years ago, and then was silent and for years. And we heard about it, I think 2019, and then we didn't hear anything. A lot of people thought it was canceled, and then we've seen it a million times this year. And it was supposed to come out. They announced in August. It was supposed to come December 8th, and then
Right.
September they delayed it to February 4th. Um, so now here we are. I don't know. I mean, I didn't play the original Dying Light, but I know a lot of people love it. I remember that was like Jake when he was with us.
Yep.
Like he loved this game, and it was even his top 10 game. I think it was 2014 when
Right.
it came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo it. I feel like this could be a Halo Infinite type of thing where I think you betting odds it's going to come out and be a 7 at best, but could potentially still be a 9. I don't know. What about you, Gables?
I don't know. It's just I understand that there are definitely possibilities where this can be a pretty good game. I mean, the development hell really kind of concerns me, especially with the game releasing like in early February and this and that. I just got a bad feeling from Dying Light 2 personally. But those feelings aside and stuff, it is interesting that from what I've seen so far, it looks like that the gameplay of itself is going to be all right. But I'm hoping that this game is good. I'll just say that. I just
Yeah,
got a bad feeling about it.
yeah. It's been the first one came out in January of 2014, so it's
Yep.
been an 8-year wait for people. So hope for their sake it's good. But I just clicked on a goddamn link. I gotta go back here. So next up, Sifu coming out to PS5, PS4, and PC February 8th. It was originally supposed to come out the 22nd. They bumped it up, a rare bump up. So that's coming out the 22nd. I imagine because it's a PlayStation exclusive, they wanted to get away from Horizon. But
Probably.
this is that like one where like it's a martial art game, but it's like a roguelike where uh, you fight, but every time you lose, you come back and you age, but eventually when your character dies, like that ends the run. And like as like he gets older, he might like become better at certain things, but also as he gets older, he might become slower at certain things too. They just did some previews for it. People are seem to be loving it. Um, this game looks like it'd be incredible. I don't like roguelikes that much. So what about you, Gills?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to look at some reviews of this game because the premise of it's cool, but I'm not sure if I want to full on invest inside Sifu.
Yeah, I think it's like $40 too. It's like up for pre-order. I think if you pre-order it though, it's like you get like $5 off or something. So that's the thing. Crossfire X, which was finally got a release date. That's that Remedy first-person shooter game based
Right.
off of it. They made a campaign for it. They also had some previews for it this week. I'm just hearing generic first-person shooter with maybe some
Yeah.
Remedy stuff in there a little bit. I'm hopeful for this. This is an Xbox exclusive. It's coming to the Series and the Xbox One. Um, I am interested in it solely because it's Remedy, but even I think this will be like 6 or 7 out of 10. And I if it comes out and it seems like it's pretty good and it's a fair price, I might jump into it, or I'll wait for like a sale, or if it's
Right.
on game. Like no, they haven't confirmed on whether or not this is coming to Game Pass, so I'm assuming it's not. If they haven't said it is yet, with less than 2 months to go.
Right.
But yeah, I don't. I want it to be good, but I don't think it's gonna be. What about you? Anything you want to say on that one?
No, not really.
Okay. Horizon Forbidden West is coming out February 18th. This is my, God of War and this are like my 1 and 1A most anticipated games for next year. These are the previous games are my 2017 and 2018 games of the year.
Yep.
So it's going to be a 2022 game of the year list. It's going to be incredibly hard for me, assuming God of War, knock on wood, please come 2022, please. They both come out next year. It's gonna be tough picking a favorite child. Um, but I can't get any more excited for this. I keep every time they put out a new trailer, I've been watching them. No, at least the ones that don't talk about story, but like the ones that talk about some of the new enemies you're gonna see and like
Right.
kind of stuff like that. Like, and some of the new enemies are showing off look pretty badass. This game just looks incredible. Like I love the first one. I can't wait. What about anything you want to say this one, Gables?
I'm excited to see when it comes out and stuff. I still got to go to the. I still need to go through that first game because I want to play through the first game, beat that before I go and get to the second one. But I am highly excited about the sequel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love that game, and then the DLC Frozen Wilds was that was good too. That was really good. But Gable, this one's up your alley here. February 22nd, Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. Finally, I think it's been about a year and a half almost
Yeah.
from since the last new big content drop for you. What's your feelings on this one?
Okay, so my feelings for this one and stuff is like I'm not sure if this is going to be like a priority for me once it does come out because it all depends really upon when I eventually go through Horizon Zero Dawn and then try to go through the sequel because it's like with the Witch Queen and stuff like that. I'm at that point with Destiny 2 where I'm kind of burnt out of playing Destiny 2. Yeah, that may switch around and stuff if when I see some more stuff with the Witch Queen and stuff. I'm interested in seeing the whole customizable, not customizable, but like yeah, sort of like that customizable weapon stuff. How the campaign goes with in terms of that expansion and stuff. But I do like a wait and see approach of that. I am excited for it, but at the same point, I want to know if what I invest into will be worth my while because I've played a hell of a lot of Destiny 2. I kind of feel like at times that it's diminished some other games I could have spent a great amount of time probably playing in that regards. I mean, hell, here's the thing. I like playing Destiny 2. I like playing with friends and this and that and stuff. But even I admit, it's like the PS4 and the PS5 versions, I spent over 100 hours each on those versions. It's like I'm going to get burnt out eventually upon that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much my take of it. It's like I hope it's good. I hope I can spend some time playing it.
It sounds to me like you're at that point where like Madden is what Destiny 2 is for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Madden is for me. Where like around April, Mayish, maybe June sometimes, like I am so burnt out on Madden. I'm just like, I don't even think I'm gonna buy the new Madden. And then like 2 weeks before the new Madden comes out, I'm just jonesing for the new Madden. So
That's
I
so
think that's
appropriate.
you're like Tyler in May, thinking about the next Madden. I was like, I'm good, but like yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised by like early February. You're like, fuck, just give me it, please. Um, but I think a lot of people are saying fuck, give me it, please to Elden Ring, which is coming out February 25th. Um, these
Yeah.
games are not for me. I so badly wish they were because I love like games that do the Souls like fighting mechanics. 'Cause so many games do them, and when they do them, they're fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I just don't have the patience for these games. And I'm just not that good at video games. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this game looks incredible. I want to play it. I want to love it. I'm just not. Unless I find out this game is actually a lot easier to jump into, I don't foresee myself jumping into. What about you, Gables?
I am excited for Elden Ring, and I want to see more in regards to not only reviews, but also for people that buy it day one or whatsoever, and they play through portions of that game. Because I'm with you when it comes to a lot of the games, say like a Dark Souls, a Bloodborne, like this and that, where I want to get into these games, man, because these are the type of games that I grew up playing. Grew up playing hard ass games and stuff where I had to die repeatedly in order to get better at them. At that same time and stuff, it's like I want to find that one game that from that kind of genre and stuff that envelops me to where now I can go forth and take that knowledge and beat these other games that I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elden Ring, I'm highly excited. I'm of the mind, man. If that thing is fantastic, alongside like say the next like the Horizon game in that same month, which is crazy to me, then I could potentially get both of those in the same fucking month, dude. I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's pretty great. I mean, so that's the last big thing for February. But I just want to point out this is just a 4 week stretch here. I'm getting ready to say for you from January 28th to February 25th. We have Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dying Light 2.
Yep.
Sifu. Horizon.
Yep.
Destiny 2 expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring.
Yep. 6.
That's just a month. That's 4 weeks. That's a lot of big games coming out in a very short amount of time. I think for me personally, I'm probably only going to buy. I'm for sure buying Legends Arceus
Right.
and Horizon. I really think those are the only two I'm going to buy. Crossfire X and Sifu are maybes. Um, but yeah, the rest I don't foresee myself picking up anything. I mean, I think
For right
Arceus
now,
is a sure for you.
yes, for right now, that's the one I'm planning on buying is like the Pokemon Legends Arceus and stuff because I know I'll play that one so
Yeah,
far.
yeah. So, but a pretty solid first couple. I mean, this is a pretty. I mean, we've had some pretty good um first quarters of 2022
Yes.
in the past 4 or 5 years. But we've also had like last year's was pretty light, but that was
Yeah.
coming off of a COVID year. Um, so, but we've had some years where the first quarter is pretty stacked, and this one feels stacked, like a double stack. But going on the March here, I just want to talk about this one, Babylon's Fall. This is a PlayStation and PC or console exclusive PlayStation. It's also coming to PC. This is that I don't. This is a the platinum people are making it, but it looks like the fucking like G team is making it. They like the D team is too busy making a game, so they got the team below the D team to make a game. They had a demo for this last year sometime, and everybody hated it.
Yeah.
And it's just every time I see this, like everybody makes fun of Godfall. I feel like Godfall is going to join in with us making fun of this game when it comes out. That's how bad this game looks like. It looks to me. And I think to everybody. Like I can't believe they were showing this. Like people want this. Okay. I don't know. Anything you want to say on that one, Gables?
This is the type of game that people will know when it launches, but no one will give a shit and just move on because of Elden Ring and Horizon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think best case scenario 6 out of 10 for this game. If it comes out and it's amazing, that'd be awesome because
Yes, I agree.
top tier platinum are some of the most fun games to play.
Yeah.
They just are. It's just when it's a bad platinum game though, it's real bad. It's real bad. It's like play some of them. They're pretty bad. Like those like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, like those, awful. March 4th though, we have Gran Turismo 7. Uh, I have never been a Gran Turismo guy. I really got into Forza Horizon 5 this year, but to be honest, like as much as I love that game or really like that game, I would not have played it if it wasn't on Game Pass.
Mm.
And this is like a realistic, like Forza Horizon 5 is fun because it's semi-realistic, but it's also wacky and fun. This is a very serious racing game. I don't know, but I've never been a Turismo guy. What about you, Gables?
It all depends upon what they showcase inside of Gran Turismo 7. I mean, the reason why I like the Horizon games and stuff for Forza and stuff, it's an open world type of thing where I can go accomplish a couple races, try to find different cars, do this, do that. I know what to expect playing a Forza Horizon game, but for Gran Turismo 7, it's a simulator mostly in regards to races, in regards to specific type of stuff. I mean, I see some stuff from game previews and stuff like that that seems interesting, but I feel like this is a game I'm probably going to pass on.
Yeah, I think this I think this will sell well, and it's going to 4 and 5, but this will be a very good, I think possibly a very good showpiece for the PS5.
Yep.
What it can do. March 4th though, sticking with that, Triangle Strategy is coming out. I didn't mean to laugh at it, but I did. So
Between Gran Turismo 7 and Project Triangle Strategy, I think I'll probably take the Triangle Strategy.
I think I might take Babylon's Fall.
Oh
I I
God.
I, I don't think the game looks bad. I just the name. It's fucking hilarious to me. I just can't not think of Phil Jackson. So I don't know. I mean, I think Triangle Strategy will come out and be a very good game.
Yeah.
I really do. I think people will be very happy about it. I think this will be a solid, like one of those 8 out of 10 type of games. I just that name though. Yeah, is this a game? What about you? What do you think you might pick this one up?
I think I am probably will pick that one up because it looks like it's going to be a somewhat probably difficult RPG to go forth and master in that regards. It looks like it's fairly straightforward, but it definitely has some intricacies to where this is probably going to be one of those harder type of RPGs.
Yeah. Moving on here. Tunic was a game that just got a release date
Oh,
finally. Game Awards coming out March 16th as an Xbox exclusive, console exclusive, but it's also going to PC. This had a demo on E3. I played it. It is very much a um, asymmetrical uh, Zelda game where like you're a fox in a tunic, but it's got some Souls mechanics to it where if you die, you kill enemies, you basically I can't remember what they're called, but basically you collect souls essentially.
okay.
But if you die, you lose them. You gotta go back and get them. It is a very cute game. I really like playing the game. When I played the demo, it's pretty tough though. I mean, imagine if you play once you play it more, you get better at it, obviously. But there's a game I want to hear more about it when it comes out. But it's a game it's on my radar for sure. What about you?
I'll definitely try when it comes out of Game Pass. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, it
I
looks
don't
like
know
it
if
was
it's coming to
interesting.
Game Pass. I don't know if it's a Game Pass game though. I think it's coming to
Uh,
Xbox.
well, if it doesn't, then I'm probably not going to pick it up like for a while because, well, it's a new game. It's also that type of game to where it's like I'm not really too sure if it's actually battle tested. So it's definitely something that I'd wait on reviews for.
Yeah, I think there might be a demo out there again for it. But if there is, I recommend checking it out.
Okay.
This one, it's come out the day after though. This might be up your alley. March 17th, coming to PlayStation 4 and Switch. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Absolutely, this is up my alley. For those listening in and stuff, I absolutely loved Persona 4 Arena when that came out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Fantastic fighting game. I mean, absolutely. The story mode in that regards, it was one of the few fighters from that generation to where I enjoyed every single bit of the story elements that collaborate into that big stuff. And Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, that game I missed out on because of it being the tail end of that generation leading up to the PS4 and Xbox One. So, knowing that port's coming out for PS4 and Switch, I want it. So, yes, of course, I'm going to go and delve into that.
Okay, very cool. Um, I forgot about this game. Whenever I think about Babylon's Fall, I sometimes mix this game up in my mind with that.
Okay.
It is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins, coming out March 18th. Coming to everything. Um, this is the game that they put out Shadow dropped a demo for during E3,
Uh
and then
huh.
the demo didn't work.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And this is
And
the
everybody
one.
like it looks like a fucking early PS3 game. I swear, I think Metal Gear Solid 4 looks better than this game does. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Metal Gear Solid 4 looked fantastic in 2008. Not anymore. Still doesn't look bad, but it looks like a 2008 game. And so is this. And I think it came out. Everybody like this is that one that had that like he just starts listening to Limp Bizkit, I believe,
Yeah,
at one point in time. It gets like someone calls him.
that's so
Yeah.
fucking
So I
jarring. So, yeah, this
yeah
is definitely something to watch and not to buy, in my honest opinion.
yeah. This is gonna be one of those fun ones to watch from afar.
It's going to be a fucking meme worthy game. That's what I feel like it's going to be.
Yeah. This game looks incredible for all the wrong reasons,
Yep.
but all the right reasons for me not to play it. And then I think we'll be last up on this. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That's the Borderlands game. It's coming to
Uh-huh.
everything March 25th. Uh, I don't know. I didn't even play. I bought Borderlands 3 when it was like $10, and then I just never even played it. Uh,
Yeah.
I beat Borderlands 1, loved it. I played a ton of Borderlands 2.
Yep.
I almost beat it on 360, and then almost beat it again on PS4 during Extra Life with you and Jake
Yep.
years ago. And then I've just fallen off of it towards the end of the game. But I don't know. I mean, people were super excited. I think, actually, I don't know that. I really don't know how people feel about this game.
That's a good question in regards to Tiny Tina, like that Tiny Tina game and stuff. It's quintessentially kind of like one of those straight up like it's sort of similar to that of Borderlands 3 in that regards, only different elements, different types of like characters, different actions to be done and stuff. This is one of those type of games where I would be interested in stuff, but I've never played Borderlands 3 and I really would much rather play that than opposed to the Tiny Tina thing, that spin-off game. So hopefully it's a game that's going to be very fun and memorable, but I don't have any interest in it right now.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that's kind of it for the first quarter here. I mean it's pretty stacked, but I would say overall, honestly, the only two I'm for sure buying I've already talked about Arceus and Horizon. Um, you talked about Arceus for you, and
Yep.
then I think the Persona 4 Ultimax
Yep.
are the two for sure. So, um, for sure two for each of us. I think two pretty big ones though.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean it's a really great quarter. I thought one of the better. I had to go back and look, but I feel like this is one of the better. Like 2019 was a pretty strong quarter, but I feel like a lot of those games, like 2019 was like had a lot of big games come out, but just didn't live up to the hype. Um, and I feel like this quarter, like I don't,
I,
like I'm not, we didn't have a. I'm not looking at like that was like a Days Gone, Rage 2,
right.
fucking Anthem, that Metro had games like that in it that were like some of them not terrible games, but it's just not what you were expecting those games to be.
I feel
Uh,
that for the year 2022, though, it definitely has the potential of how 2017 was for us back in gaming, to where we
yeah,
had a lot of big releases at a short amount of span. But with that type of year 2017 was, and then like the corresponding like 2007 and then like fucking 97 and all the other stuff, to where it felt like every decade there's like this slew of these genre divine like defining games and this and that, to where it feels like 2017 and then 2022 are kind of like almost paralleled with some sense, to where you have these big anticipated games that are coming out in like a
yeah,
span of like a year. And obviously COVID didn't help matters in pushing games like being delayed like out of the windows for like 2020 and then 2021.
yeah,
But yeah, there are definitely some games I'm anticipating next
yeah,
year.
yeah. Next year's gonna be nuts. I think. Obviously with Omicron though, I mean, you look at start reading around a little bit. It almost seems like we're back in March 2020 right now. But assuming hopefully luckily with vaccines being out there and shit like that, we don't go back full blown March 2020. But yeah, I think 2022 is because of COVID, kind of gonna look like accidentally like a 2017 in the sense of
Yep.
we're just gonna have a ton of banger games possibly coming out this year. And yeah, it's a great first quarter to really get us on that page. And you kind of look at um, even that first quarter, like no, like there's a decent chunk of PlayStation exclusives and Switch exclusives in there. Like
Mm-hmm.
like even like what was it, the Babylon, Sifu, Horizon, Gran Turismo, Uncharted Legacy, are PlayStation exclusives. There's a couple others I missed in there. I closed the list now, but like you look at like even or the no, that's the Persona 4 is not PlayStation exclusive. It's coming to Switch. But yeah, you even look at like Switch, like they have the Triangle Strategy,
Mm-hmm.
they have Pokemon. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's like a pretty solid first quarter for first parties, and even the third parties look pretty good too. So I think,
Yep.
I mean, assuming all these games come out and they live up to the hype, blast the hype, or even close to it, I think, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And we don't even like we don't even have a lot of dates really. We have after March, so it's gonna be pretty incredible. I can't wait for I think we're gonna. I bet we'll have a direct sometime early next. I think we're gonna have a direct in the state of play in the first couple months of next year,
Yeah.
and that's really gonna put in place, give us some ideas of what the rest of the year is gonna look like. But yeah, but let's move on here, Gables, to kind of our last thing I want to talk about here. Next week we're gonna do our on January 1st. We're gonna sit down and record our game of the year list,
All
and
right.
those will go up for everybody. We do it every year. So that first week of January we'll record on Saturday, January 1st, like we normally do, and then on the second that will go up, but it'll be the first half, and then the following weekend we'll do the second. The second half will come out for you, so that way Gable and I will actually. Typically, Gables and I only ever get 2 weeks off a year from recording the podcast.
Yeah.
This year is special because Christmas lands on Saturday, so we're gonna get 3. But typically, the only time we get a week off from recording is Game of the Year and E3.
Yep.
Because E3 we bank so many episodes during E3 that we take that break there. But we record like 8 episodes in like 5 days, and then we take a week off to recover from that. And then this we usually, like I said, we record 2 episodes in one night, and that gives us a week off, which is great. Because typically, like January for me is like like I don't play. I usually go in like a gaming funk in like the beginning of the year, where it's like, oh, like you just let out everything, all your feelings on 2021, and that's like I need to like take a break and recover, and I don't. And then obviously you don't have a lot of big stuff usually coming out that first few weeks of the year. So I think that'll be nice for me to take a nice break from gaming until Arceus comes out at the
Right.
end of January. So I don't know, like I don't know if that's gonna be the same for you or not, Gables.
Well, it all depends, really. I mean, I kind of feel like that with the gaming for this past year and stuff, that it actually leads me to kind of like the opposite, to where it's like I've gained my fair amount of games and stuff, but honestly, it's not like in years past where it's like I'd always have like the one or two like concrete games or something like that. It's more like a myriad of like game experiences that I've had this year. Not a lot of the new games that I have played have struck me as like, say, game of the year sort of stuff, but yet it's been sort of like the whole mixture, like a hodgepodge of stuff.
Yeah,
But I kind of feel like that because of those type of games, it really makes me kind of eager to play something even more in regards to the next year, especially during the start of it, because of how much I'm craving of that one like great game after great game and stuff. It kind of feels like I'm weeding things through, pretty much.
yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of taste of these really strong games. We didn't have that like 1 or 2 or 3 big time like genre generational games this year. So,
Right.
but we've been spoiled, for the most like 26, 20, what 16, 17, 18, and 20 were phenomenal years for gaming. So we've been pretty spoiled as of late. So, um, I mean, in this year, I think it's still, I mean, even though it's been a down year compared to we've had 4 of the last 5 years of just being incredible.
Right.
So it's not fair to compare this year to others in a lot of sense. But yeah, I do want to. Speaking of our game of the year list, I do want to kind of talk about without spoiling our list. I can't really spoil it too much, I guess, because I haven't really started working on it that much. But I was kind of curious, like we thought about like our overall process for putting this list together. Um, I
Okay.
kind of have. I don't know if you have a process of like how you do it. Um, if you want me to go first, I can. Unless you want to go first.
Yeah, you go ahead and go first for this one, Tyler.
Okay, so I think Gables and I kind of do the same thing. Like I have this. It's right down here. If I can grab it, I have this handy dandy notebook here. I've been using since we for audio listeners. I have a notebook here. It's a black notebook. It's a little black book. It doesn't have any girls' phone numbers in it. Um, but it's the same one I've been using since we started the show 8.5 years ago. All of our lists we've ever done, we've done game of the generation list, we've done our all-time favorite game list, we've done this will be I think our ninth game of the year list. Um, so I go in here and as the year progresses, if there's a game I like that I think could be a top 10 or even like a contender for like, cause I usually do like we do a top 10 list, but then I usually typically do a top 15 list really, Or we do
Right.
like honorable mentions, I'll do 11 through. I'll even rank the top 15. So anything I think could potentially end that list, I write down. It's that way, like remember it, like or like kind of like remind myself, oh, I like that game, because sometimes you play a game in January, December rolls around, like that game might you might totally forget it. So I write those down, and then kind of how I start my list is I have those games written down. So this year, for example, I had 18 games on that list for me of games that I felt were potentially contenders for my top 10, really top 15 list for the year. Um, and then I do what I call the for sure's. And these are games that are for sure on my top 10. And I'm not gonna name any games on this, but minor spoilers. I did my for sure. Like I'll look. I'm like, okay, here's 18 games. I'll go through one by one. All right, for sure that's gonna be my top. That's gonna make it in the top 10 for sure. I'm like, in some years I'll do it and I'll have 4 or 5. And it's like, okay, so you have 15 games. So you have 20 games here. Let's say, all right, these 5 are for sure um, in my top 10. Boom, there you go. Or it was say 6. Those 6 for sure on my top 10. So then I got these 14 to battle out these last 4 spots. And then I'd start breaking them down one by there.
Right.
But then also, I saw simultaneously while I've done that, I've already essentially got my top 6 games there made. Now I just got to put those top 6 in order. So now I've broken everything down into different brackets. And then once I break down the best, then I like, okay, and then I got to battle out 7 through 10. So 1 through 6, then 7 through 10. Then then I have the best of the rest there. So then I'll do 11 through 15 there. So that's kind of how I overall. So like this year though was a little different, a little harder. So I did my for sure's out of those 18 games. I don't count it as I go. I count it once I'm done. I did my for sure's. I had 9 games as my for sure's.
Oh
So
wow.
I've got one open spot. I haven't put anything in order yet though. So my 1 through 9s are not made. I just know that these 9 games now are my. So it makes it a lot harder. Where normally I have 4, 5, or 6. So it's like okay, cool. Like no, okay, boom. It's a lot easier to decide between 6 than it is between 9. And then so now I have 9 other games I had to fight over one spot. So I haven't done that yet. That's as far as I've gotten on that. But then once I do that, once I normally get to that process, I have my 10. Then I break it down by okay, what are top 5 games? What are so I usually like okay, what's what okay what I start like break it down. Okay, this is upper echelon. This is upper echelon. Like that's probably towards the bottom. So like and then that will break it down. So like normally I have like most years it's easy for me to like I already have like 1 and 2 are
Right.
usually 1 is always for sure like done. Like that's not even an argument for me. I think every year except 2019 was like for sure that's number 1. This year's tough because I don't have a number 1, and like I haven't really even thought about it. Like normally I don't have to think about it. I just know it. Like Horizon, that was easy for me. Game of the year. God of War
Right.
2018, easy for me. Game of the year. Last Guardian, boom, easy for me. Game of the year. Last of Us Part 2, Game of the year. Like no question about it. So it's sometimes it's like difficult. Number 2 is harder than number 1. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how my list goes. Like I just kind of break it down in the sections. Or like I said, you do the for sure's, and then once you get the for sure's, you've dwindled down that list of all the games on your big list down. Then all right, cool. Like I said, this year I had 18. I have 9 for sure's. Now I have 9 battling out for number 10. And then once I get in with that, I'm gonna have to like figure out okay, what's an upper echelon game this year? What's maybe not? And then I go from there. This year is gonna be harder than normal because I usually don't have that many for sure's. I normally have like I said 5 or 6, but that's kind of I break it down. Makes it like easier for me. Kind of like gets like the makes it a little more. Um, I don't know. It just takes out a lot of like the stress of like, am I like sometimes you start arguing, like, am I really arguing? I don't know. Like, I pick a like, am I really gonna argue Uncharted 4 compared to fucking um,
Doom.
Firewatch? Am I really doing that right now? Like, those games are like I like both those games. Both games made my year that my top 10 that year. But I'm like, am I really trying to decide between these two? Like, so like this really breaks away from that. Where like now I'm having these mini battles instead of like fighting between what ended up being like I think number 2 and number 9 on my list that year. Like I'm not having that fight. Like now I'm fighting between okay, what's 2 and 3 here? What's 3 and
All
4
right.
here? Shit like that. So that's kind of a long way to describe how I make a list, but I started doing that like I think 2017. And it's been working out for me really really well. What about you, Gables? Do you have any way of how you keep track and how you overall make your list?
So throughout the year, I have a little notebook to where I record any of the games that I have beaten for that specific year. I categorize it by month, sometimes by what day I've actually beat it on. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not really going to be going all in depth in regards to that, but at the same time, every time I've beaten a game, I like to go forth and record that I've beaten that certain game. So I take the list and the games that are released that year, put them inside of like a huge like a list that I've created and stuff, and then throughout the year and stuff, I go check on the other little sites here through either the eShop or through PSN or through the Xbox, and especially anything that's stored on, like, say, installed on my console. It's like, okay, I've played this, put it on the list. Okay, I've done this, put it on the list, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. To where I give myself a big old, I give myself a big old stack of games that I have organized in regards to, okay, I have played these games and stuff. Then I go upon, okay, so which ones do I kind of feel at this point in time gave me the most impact in regards to how much fun I was playing it or how much they were memorable in that regards. So at this current time, I have a list of about 20 games that I got. It could be more, it could be less through the time with the game of the year stuff, but concrete, this is like 20 games and stuff that I have played this year that I do know that there's probably a few of them that I think are for sure going to be on that top 10. But at that same time, I still am going to be double checking whatever I have played and stuff. They'll probably be added to the list. And then after I feel like I have an adequate amount of games that I felt like represented that year, that's when I start eliminating certain games. Like, okay, I haven't played enough of this stuff, so it's off. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, I'll get it whittled down to where, okay, so did I enjoy this game over this game in this regards? And so that'll go either high or low, and that's how I pretty much decide my top 10 list in years past. To where the the pretty much the reason one of the reasons why I had certain games as game of the year and stuff like that. It's like, okay, did I have a better experience say with Uncharted 4 or with Doom 2016? I mean, that
Yeah.
was literally a
Oh
battle that I
boy, that
had
was
right
one of the
there.
all-time worst battles.
That was my worst battle that I've ever had for a top inside this entire podcast right here, because literally both games were amazing and literally both games had great moments, and I gave the edge to Uncharted 4 being my game of the year for that particular year because it was a conclusion to a series of games that I enjoyed playing on the PlayStation 3. So it was through that feel plus that experimentation in regards to God, going through that whole list of stuff, and yeah, that's kind of like how my process goes through. It goes through logically of how much I enjoy that specific game to that specific port, that specific point.
Hmm.
So it's not like really in depth or detailed and stuff. Just create a list, check the stuff where I played stuff on, put the names on the list, eliminate stuff, and then eventually I'll go through and organize it.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did forget to mention that I do sometimes is if I put a game like sometimes sometimes it's tough when, like I said, you play that game in January or it
Yeah,
comes out in January, February, and it's kind of tough to like remember,
right.
like maybe like because it's hard like because you hear about that like like a game like there's always that game in January that comes out and everybody loved it,
Yep,
but by or even February, March, but then by the time December rolls around, November rolls around, everybody
everyone's
forgets
forgot
about
it.
it. Yeah, it's like people talking about like this year with Hitman 3. Everybody's forgot about Hitman 3.
I kind of feel like
But
the
like
same thing's been held true for a game like, say, like Cyber Shadow, which released early on in 2021, and
yeah, but I'm like Hitman 3 was like a big time game that everybody was playing and raving about
oh
though.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Um so like, that game came out, everybody like people love that game, raving about that people were saying that's a game of the year contender. And then by the time, you know, November rolls around, most people have forgotten about it. Um and like so it's like sometimes I play a game like early in the year and I'm like if if that's the case, you're having trouble remember that, then it's probably not your game of the year. But like
Right.
when I'm doing like when I'm trying to make that top 10 list, though, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why I put this here. Like I know I really liked it, but it's like a little foggy because it's been 12 months, 9 months, 10 months. So I'll go back and like listen to the podcast that I recorded that like I did on that, and I'll listen to that part to like bring me back to that. And I've done that in the past too, when it's like like kind of like try to put you back in that time and place to like what I really liked about this, like maybe like little anecdotes I told of like why I love this game that much, why
Yes.
I like the fact that I put this on my list. Because like I might love the game at the time, but it's like I was saying, I'm like I remember liking the game a lot, but I'm like, why did I really like that game a lot? And sometimes I go back and I'll watch like walkthroughs too, on like YouTube, and it's like give me back. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, all right, I remember this, remember that. Okay, so this is like well, like to kind of trigger yourself and put you back in that time and place. So that's another thing I do. But yeah, yeah, it's pretty much it. Like I just try to make it as simple as like you know as possible. Like I'm not having like 20 big arguments. I'm having 5 or 6 big arguments with myself,
Right.
kind of thing, to make it just as simple and stress free as possible. Because, oh boy, Gills, this is gonna be one of the hardest. This is probably gonna be the hardest list we've ever done.
Probably.
Like I've talked about, like usually it's 2019. I've talked about it was hard for me to put a list together because it was like hard to put a list together because I didn't think there was like 10 really good, great games that year. And I feel like, in like other years, like there's been like 5 or 6 really great games, and there's been like 4, maybe 5 or whatever, pretty solid, good games, whatever. And like, okay, that's the easy list. This year, I was just like, man, there's just been like a good 12 or like at least, well, in my case, 9 very good games this year, are that are now on my. It's like, but no one's like to me yet, at least in my mind, made it. But I have like I said, I really haven't given it like really more than a few seconds thought right now because I don't have the energy to do this to myself right now. So I think this is gonna be probably next week, and I'm gonna sit down and uh, drink some coffee and work on my list. But yeah, that's oh, I think that's might actually do it for this special Christmas episode. Um, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back, like I said, next week for you guys. 2 weeks for us. Next week for you guys. With our game of the year list. I can't wait. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
by then I haven't completely lost my fucking mind when I do it. Uh, and I actually did it, and I'm not like breaking down while I'm doing it and telling you guys my list. Um, but yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to us all year. This is our last show of the year of 2021. We'll be back 2022. Hopefully bigger and better, and have a fantastic fucking year of video games for that.
Yep.
But like I said, if you're listening to the day it came out, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate or not celebrate. Uh, Happy day to you then. Um, but yeah, anyways, I was host. I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables. Until next year, everyone, have yourself a freaking awesome holiday.
Mm-hmm. And Gables for the last time in 2021.
Yep.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya.